Is it true that you had to agree to not use Biden as Navy's last name?
Yes. Him and I discussed that over the child support dispute when we finally met face to face and sat down and talked. And we both came to an agreement that was probably the best thing for now. And when Navy's old enough, she gets to choose what she wants.
Mm. So you take her at some point to Washington and to see the White House, where her grandfather is the sitting president of the United States. And it's an extraordinary chapter, 19. You write, holding my breath, I approach the gates, fearing Navy will ask what purpose this building serves, or worse, that she would realize who might be inside and ask if she could visit her grandpa. She's only 3, but even the small chance of that happening leaves a pit in my stomach. Like every other American, I grab my phone to capture a picture of my child in front of our nation's historic home. The emerald green grass and bright blue sky frame the big white building as Navy presses her face close to peer through the bars. This would have to be the first time in U.S. history a granddaughter of the first family is not allowed inside those gates. The sight is etched into my brain forever. And that goes on to this day, because not only is Navy not welcome at the White House, London, but she actually has to watch as the Bidens continue celebrating their other grandchildren, have events on TV showing the other grandchildren, and knowing that these are her half-siblings in some of the cases, and her cousins, whom so far she has never met and who have never acknowledged her. So how do you explain all that?
It's a lot. I mean, I've said that, there's a lot of hurt in this book, and there's a lot of anger and rage, but there's redemption in the end. Right now, I hope, but that, like you were stating, that the DC chapter, taking her to DC, wasn't, the National Mall is my favorite area in DC. I love that walk and stuff, and that's why I took her to the White House first, was to get that one over with and out of the way. That one is still, it's hard. It's hard to talk about, you sitting there, reading that part about Navy outside the gates, and I feel my lip quivering because there's so much emotion that comes with it. And as a mother, and my love for my child, she might not fully understand yet, but someday she will. And it breaks my heart.
What do you say to people who say you shouldn't have brought her there? Don't take her there.
I try to be as open with my daughter as possible. And the National Mall, like I said, is my favorite part of DC. And she loves DC. DC holds a big part of my heart. And I have a bunch of friends there who have become family. And, taking her there was something that I was so happy to do and so excited to do, because I love that place. And I would love for her to share that love. And I can get why people don't understand, and it's kind of like that saying, you'll never understand a person's journey unless you've walked a mile in their shoes. And it's just the predicament I'm in, and the way that, I've tried to handle things. I can't say that I've handled everything the right way, but I've done the best that I can.
It's so tricky, because I can totally understand why you want your child to know that her grandfather is the president. Of course you want her to know that and to kind of appreciate it. And it's kind of a cool thing. That is her lineage. But yet there's so much downside with having to explain. I mean, you are in a very tricky spot. I fully get that. One other thing on the First Lady, because I did think this was one of the cruelest cuts of all. You write in the book, chapter 15, in June 2020, Jill Biden published Joey, a children's book about the life of Joe Biden. Hanging on to a copy for Navy, I pull it out one night after bath time. She loves it when I read to her, and this is a book about her grandfather. And what did you see when you opened up Joey, the book with Navy?
The dedication page where, Jill wrote this book about Joe, and she dedicated it to, her grandchildren, as she should. And then she listed them by name, excluding one.
You ask in the book, someday my daughter will be able to read this book. How will she feel knowing all the president's grandchildren were intentionally listed, but Jill left her out purposefully? I always thought that a quality of a first lady is to handle herself with class, but this is distasteful and borderline cruel. You go on to say, she snubbed a small, innocent child and a family member. I can't conceive the number of prayers I will need to ever forgive this woman for publicly snubbing a child she should be embracing. Have you forgiven her?
That's tough. That, I have to forgive.
Do you owe back taxes? Pandemic relief is now over. Along with hiring thousands of new agents and field officers, the IRS has kicked off 2024 by sending over 5 million pay-up letters to those who have unfiled tax returns or balances owed. Don't waive your rights and speak with them on your own. Tax Network USA, a trusted tax relief firm, has saved over $1 billion in back taxes for their clients, and they can help you secure the best deal possible. Whether you owe 10 grand or 10 million, they can help you. Whether it's business or personal taxes, even if you have the means to pay, or if you're on a fixed income, they can help finally resolve your tax burdens once and for all. Call 1-800-245-6000 for a private free consultation or visit tnusa.com/Megyn. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.